Hey, this is Phil from Race City Retro, and thank you for clicking on this video today. Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. It's not the type of person I am. I'm not here to complain. I'm just here to point things out, give my opinion, and I'd say I have a pretty qualified opinion. Been building models for 50 years, and actually, ironically, this is the first kid from almost 50 years ago that ever really made a little boy cry, let me down, got me all upset. Today, we're going to take a look at the Atlantis 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. Now, I haven't touched this kit since the 70s when I threw it in the garbage. I never even finished it. It really let me down. If you watch our 1977 Revell catalog review, you'll see what I showed you about this kit. But I've been hearing a lot about Atlantis, and they're a solid company. I'm not here to slam Atlantis. They didn't design this kit. They just reproduced it. Revell designed this kit. They got the molds from Revell. I guess Revell had no other intentions of ever reproducing this kit. I think they got the 55 two-door hardtop and the Nomad as well. So today, we're going to take a look at this. But like I said, I'm not here to slam Atlantis. Atlantis has got some good stuff going on. They're doing a couple other kits too, which I like. A lot of the old funny car kits. I'm going to put some of their pages up on the screen now, their catalog pages. And yes, they have the 567 trio thing going on. So before you buy, like I said, before you spend your hard-earned money, let's go over this kit as far as 57 Chevys go. And let's see, did they update anything? I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I know how the original kit came. I know the issues that it had, and let's see if this kit can be built any better than that original Revell one from the 70s. You can see Atlantis has some cool products coming up. This is their newest catalog. Good stuff besides the Revell stuff. A lot of drag racing, a lot of funny car kits. Watch the scales on the bottom because some of the stuff is really small and some of the stuff is 1/16 scale, like these drag cars. You'll see all the Tri-5 kits. Unfortunately, they're all going to be basically the same as this kit that I show you today. But you can see they've got some really cool stuff, and they're American made right in New York, which is neat. Love that gasser, man. That is too cool. The Scorpion gasser, Studebaker straight axle, Prud'homme's funny car. Tom Daniel stuff too. They're doing a lot of that. And see up on top, the Snake 1/16 scale, Bruce Larson's 1/24 scale, the Moon Eyes dragster, all old Revell kits. Mongoose McEwen 57 Chevy, that's a great kit. Then on the bottom though, like this Trans Am, that's 1/32 scale. Then you're going to see a lot of Tom Daniel stuff. There's Snake in the Mongoose, and a lot of show cars coming back. The Tom Daniel show cars looks like the old Monogram kits. Really, really cool stuff. It's definitely a good company. There it is. The Atlantis 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. Looks like some hand-drawn so-so artwork on the front. Made in the USA. I love that. You never see that anymore. And that's one of the best things about Atlantis. They're made on Long Island, ironically, where I grew up. Deer Park, Long Island is where they're located at. And here's something else that looks cool. If you look at the side of this box, gasser. Real nice. Looks like they might have changed some stuff, but right off the bat, I do see something very familiar from the original kit. And the main thing with this kit is, I guess you want to call it fit and finish. Let's dig into that. The rest is just all the mumbo jumbo. But let's have a look at this Atlantis 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. And look at that, even on the other boxes. Atlantis I think that's printed upside down. That should be printed the other way. Right, Atlantis? Should I be able to read that without dumping the box out? Okay. Atlantis hand packs their models. They always show that on their social. I follow them on social media. So what's nice is it's put into the box right, and you got a little room, so you don't got to worry about, breaking posts, window posts and stuff like that. But let's take this kit out. Let's go through this kit. Let's have a good look at this kit and see what's going on. All right, let's start with the chrome tree. Now, that's one of the things that Revell was always horrible with their chrome plating. It was light, it was dark. A lot of times you'd see the color of the model coming through. If it was a green model, you'd see the green coming through the hubcap, let's say. Really, really weird as far as their plating. It was never really any good. And this car does have a lot of glue on chrome, which a lot of the other 57 Chevy kits do not. You have to paint them on. And there's your headlight bezels. I see some flash. Your hood ornament. Here's your fuel injection unit, the front bumper. And yeah, you do have some flash, but all in all, it's not too bad. If you look, let's see if I can get the bottom edge of this bump is really rough. It almost looks like, I don't think it's flash. I think it's just from the mold, that lower edge. But, you know, you're not going to build this kit as a contest model. I don't think it's got the means for it. It does come with chrome reverse, gives it that look, comes with a nice tube grill. And I think they gave you like 6 Strombergs. That's what that is, for a 6 Stromberg intake. Rear bumper looks good as far as dimensions. And it gives you the Chevy script valve covers for the 283 version. Looks like some knockoffs, which that may be actually from when this used to be like a lowrider kit. That was the one that I bought, the pink one on the box. Poison Chevy or something it was called. But not too bad as far as the chrome plating. It looks decent. A lot better, I think, than Revell did. When Revell built these, they were really rough as far as the plating. I don't see any white. This is a white molded kit. I don't see any white sticking out on this chrome. All right, continuing on right off the bat, this is definitely a change. These are soft rubber, really, really nice tires. Revell used to give you the 2-piece. You glue them together. Real thin, small. You always had that big seam around them with the glue pouring out of them. But these are non-lettered. You do have a line if you had to paint a white wall, which is nice. You have, you know, an edge to put your white wall on. But these look really good. This is a nice setup as far as tires. But what I don't understand, I don't see anything. If you're going to build it as a gasser, it should have maybe some pie crust slicks or something. These are just 4 of the same size tires, which on a gasser really wouldn't make any sense. You know, the fronts are real big for a straight axle car, which they give you, and the back should be a little bigger. These would be good if you were going to do it stock and make them white walls, but even then, they kind of look almost like a little too thick for stock. But nice tires, much better than what Revell gave you with this kit. All right, let's pop into the parts bag. Everything's bagged. Let's cut this open. Hopefully. All right. The body. All right, let's push this off to the side. Body's hooked into the tree. All right, there we go. And this is what gave a lot of people fits with this kit. A lot of it was in the door hinges, the fitment of the doors. The doors were just lost in the door jambs. You had a lot of twisting, which, let's see. Yeah, it's a little rocking and rolling when you put it down flat. A lot of flash I see already. Body seams. You know, this is an old mold. This kit probably originally came out in the late 50s, early 60s. So, you know, it's been pressed a bazillion times. You know, you could see your normal, typical flash. The proportions of the body, you know, to a real 57 Chevy look pretty good. The roof may be a little low on this car, almost like it's got a little chop to it. But like the Bel Air side trim looks good. They give you the glue-on trim for the top and for the back. Couple sinkholes there. It looks like you got a real big sinkhole there. Oh yeah, you can see that. The trunk is real sharp, that edge. And that's what drew me to this kit as a kid. The opening trunk, you know, you could put your chrome tools in there. They had a spare tire cover with like tuck and roll interior on it. But Yeah, it's that windshield seems real low when you look at the proportions. It almost looks like it's chopped, this car. And you don't know if it was that the intention. And it's funny, the rear wheel wells look high, almost like their radius slightly, and the roof looks low, almost like it's got a mild chop. Quarters are a little chunky in this area. This should come up a tick more. And the 57 Chevy is a car that started off me as a kid. For my 7th birthday, my dad pulled up in a real one and said, I just bought this. We're going to work on it. And it's kind of the car where I learned how to draw cars. I learned how to build models that made me want to go buy a model of it and build it. And it really started everything off, my whole love for cars. So I love a good 57 Chevy kit. And if you look at one of our other videos, I compared the monogram kit, the 1977 version, which was one of the first models I ever built, to the current version. So be sure and check that video out. That's a good one. See, it is a little weird too. The belt line where the fin goes up, that should be a lot softer. If you look at that, it's a real high edge. So it's close. You know, you can nitpick it all day long if you want to be a nitpicker. But, you know, like I said, you're not going to make a contest model out of this car. All right, let's eyeball up some of these parts. Parts trees. Right away, I see some flash. There's your straight axle. It's for the gasser version. Or you could put these pieces in your frame for regular control arms. Looks like these are your wheel backs. Let's see what else we got going on here. Rear leaf springs. Here's a lot of the problems. See these hinges? Look how flimsy this stuff is. That's your trunk hinge. That's one of your door hinges. And man, there's got to be a better way to get these doors to open, because that's half the problem. These things are so flimsy. When you open the door, it sinks like an old 70 Firebird with bad hinges, or a 70 Camaro with bad hinges. Yeah, I don't know what that shape is. That might be like a runoff from the mold. Got on both sides, but that's fixable. Interior pattern's very weak compared to like the monogram or the AMT version. There's your steering for the front. And you get a little wheel, big wheel. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. Put this to the side. Body parts. Lots of flash on that trunk. These are, actually, there's your, looks like 2 more door hinges. And then these are what holds your door in, your hinges. But like I said, these things flex so easy. Those are your wheel backs, your tailpipes, and your dash. The dash looks good as far as the detail on the dash. You can see the clock and everything on it. It's got good dash detail. But see these doors too. You can see how light this stuff is. Let's trim one of these off. Where's the driver's door? Let me get my sprue cutter going here. Oh, that's falling off, but I don't want to do that. Let's take a look. Can you put one on without removing the remove? Oof. Yeah, see. Not too bad. If you took that post out, you could see right away, I'm sorry, you could see right away the top has got a lot of space in it. But they may have fixed this up a little, or Revell may have, because these doors used to have a ton. They would kind of like just hang off the car, you know, like that. They wouldn't even close half the time, but I'd have to put the whole hinge assembly in and see how this works. But right off the bat, I can see a gap on the top there, because if you put this up to where it should be, the door's going to sit a lot higher than it needs to. But like I said, this model is notorious for these things, and I'm not throwing Atlantis under the bus for any reason. They're a good American company, but this is just a really old, tired kit that should have been put to bed instead of back into production. Because what worries me about this kit is some young modeler like myself getting this kit, making an attempt at it, and he gives up on modeling because he can't get nowhere with this kit. But here are the juicy parts, your headers. There's the trunk piece that lured me in. That's your spare tire. Rolled and pleated. You got exhaust manifolds. You got a moon tank. These are your heater ducts, your mufflers. Looks like some kind of drive shaft loops, which I don't know what that's from. 57 Chevy don't have anything like that on the chassis. 6 Strombergs. 57 rear. Real nice detail on that bell housing. Wow, that's a GM bell housing. 4-speed. Looks like your blower intake. This does come with a supercharger also. There it is. Nice Fenton style scoop. Your fan looks like almost like a moon fin timing chain cover. That's pretty neat. So I mean, it's got a lot of pluses. There's a 2-pot for the top. Those are your heads, which have great detail for the bottom of the head that no one's going to see. But this is good stuff for a diorama if you wanted to do an engine. I mean, this motor's got a crank in it. So if you wanted to do some type of engine diorama, there's another set. Oh, no, actually, that's the block. This is the block. Oh, man, that's horrible. That's maybe the top part of the block, and this is the bottom. Because these are the heads, which those are pretty detailed, too. They have all the rockers on them. And then on the bottom, ooh, they're closed chamber. Fuelies. That's pretty cool. So this is the engine block comes in a bunch of pieces. That's the bottom of the block. That's like the cylinders, the top of the block, and then the heads go on top of that. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to put the engine block together. Then you still got to do intakes and all that other stuff. So like I said, nothing's really changed with this kit. They didn't do anything to clean it. They just basically gave you some new tires. As far as, let's see, the chassis... The glass is not wrapped up, so that should be wrapped. This glass, too, is real hard to put in this car because it's basically a tick bigger than the opening. There's your front windshield. See what I'm saying? Let me move that up, actually. I'm sorry. There's your front windshield. The shape of the windshield's horrible, and it looks like it's going to drop right in. So... that's an issue. You better get yourself some clear cement or you're going to have some foggy windows. Back window? Yeah, much of the same. This glass is like a hair bigger than the opening. It's almost like it's supposed to drop in and be flush fit. There's your side windows, your headlights, your wing windows. But this should be wrapped or in a separate bag. This was just put in with the part, so... you know it's going to get scratched up as this kit gets bounced around. And here is the chassis. Now you're going to have opening doors, so you're going to see all this. It's got a nice carpet texture to it. The trunk is kind of like a stock 57 Chevy trunk mat, black rubber mat. And this is probably some kind of divider wall that covers it into the back. That's your toe boards in the front where your pedals go. There's your radiator support, separate gas tank. These are your inner fenders, which I guess if you're building a gasser, you really wouldn't use those. But there's the detail. And, oh, I hate when they put those letters all over. You got to grind down. But everything is exactly the same. They did nothing to modern. Here's what they did to modernize this kit. They gave you that instead of the originals, but the body, nothing's been improved on by Atlantis. So you make the call. It's going to be a tough one. This is a kit that I would say for an experienced modeler, man, you're going to spend a lot of time on this kit getting it to look presentable. There's a lot better ways to go. Let's look at the decals because the gasser build looked good. Yeah, decals look good. They give you these, which is nice because you won't have to use the emblems. Let's see what else they got. That emblem's not correct for... oh, no, actually, well, if it was a 57 two-door 210 hardtop, it would have that. But the Bel Airs had the golds if it was a V8. You got your fuel injection. Those are your front fender louvers. Some Bel Air scripts, which would go on the back, I'm assuming. They're already there. And you got some good contingency decals, license plate, and some Ed Roth stuff. But that's not too bad as far as the decals. That's a nice addition to the kit. But the kit is the same. Be careful because it's a lot of money for a model nowadays. Like I said, you can... I think this kit had a retail of $34.95. If you want to build a 57 Chevy, there's other versions out there, which I've already gone over the monogram. There's AMT and some better Revell ones, the newer ones. We'll go over those soon too, but it's got a lot of parts, this kit. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now. I doubt I'm going to attempt to build it. Unless I do like a rusty diorama. It might be good for that because the trunk opens, the doors open. If you're doing like a barn find kind of thing, I could see that working out. But would I build this kit for a contest model? No. Would I build this kit to put on my shelf? No, because I know it's going to aggravate me, and I know I'm not going to be too happy with it in the end, because it just seems like a lot of things are going to run you ragged. It's going to take too much effort for not a good result. You know, there are kits out there that take a lot of effort, like a high piece kit, like a Tamiya kit or something. But when it's done, you have a beautiful model. But it's going to be real hard to make this kit a beautiful model, you know. And like I said, I would hate to have a kid get this kit and just be like, man, this is what modeling's like. Pass. I'm going to go play video games. Let's look at this trunk. I'm going to snip this off quick. I just want to see how this thing fits, because that was the other issue when I was a kid. Let me get this flash. Look at this flash. Whoa. It's got flash on top of flash on top of flash. This is how long this kit's been around. Oh, man. It don't even want to cut through the flash. There we go. Wow. And this trunk is thin when I feel it. It kind of feels like it's going to almost crack. Yeah, that's... It's going to have to be filed. I mean, look at the edges. It's going to have to be filed around. Like I said, too, Atlantis did not design this kit. This kit is an old kit that's been around the block one too many times. Let's get this out of there. There we go. And let's do this side. I just want to see how it fits in the body. I'm actually going to leave it a little on the chunky side. Let's see. There we go. I'm not going to really pick it clean, because this was the other thing too that was horrible on this when I was a kid. Yeah, like you could see the spacing. It's, you know, and you could also see by the back here, the lower piece is too tall. It's a lot lower on a real car. The trunk is incredibly fat. A 57 Chevy has a nice crest on the trunk. It's rounded, and it makes the car look very narrow back here. And that, I mean, that was the things that turned me off. Like I said, it may not bother you. Different people, different things. If you've ever built this kit yet, or one of the Revell kits just like it, do me a favor. Tell me your opinion on this kit. I would love to see some comments. Yeah, I love it. No, I had this problem. I had that problem. I had all the problems you're talking about. Or, you know, I loved it. Just, the opening doors is awesome. The trunk, awesome. That's what lured me in. I said, man, I could build this crazy model out of this. But after trying to do it, man, as a kid, you know, and I probably wasn't as accomplished of a modeler because I was so young, but I mean, look at that rocker panel, the twist on it. It's like, this kit almost feels like, you know, there's not enough there to keep it straight on the chassis. It's not for me. I think as far as, like I said, as far as what's on the shelves right now, you got a lot better kits out there. This is probably one of the worst kits on the shelves. And I'm not slamming Atlantis. They're a good company. They're an American company. They got some cool kits out there now coming up. You do have to fix your boxes, guys, though. This should be flipped the other way, so when I pull the lid off, I could read it. I like the decals, but will I be building this kit? No. And like I said, the glass, they should really wrap this with even just a piece of like tissue paper over it. But these windows are basically the size of these holes. It's like, and actually there is a little, let's say, yeah, they give you a little lip in there, but you got to use clear on that. And that's got a little lip too. So that's probably going to help you install them. Nice headliner. It's got the dome and it's got a little dot for a mirror too. But there you have it. There you have it. The Revell / Atlantis reissue 57 Chevy Bel Air 2-door hardtop. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Please be sure and check out our web store. If you like this video, give it a like. I'd be honored. And if you want to see future model car content, please subscribe. Nice. These I'll use for something. Check out our web store at racecityretro.com for all kinds of cool 57 Chevy stuff and other car stuff. And get over to your model car bench, and if you don't like this kit, grab something else and build something cool.